What have you done for yourself lately that was just for you? The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. Women can be known for putting themselves at the bottom of the list. We want to make sure everyone else is taken care of. We want to make sure that everyone else is fed and nurtured and loved. By the time we take care of everyone else in our life, we rarely have energy to take care of ourselves. We rarely have the time left over to do something just because we want to do it. It's in our DNA. We can't help but want to focus on other people. It's in our conditioning. Our identity is based on how well we nurture and care for others. Society looks at us and decides our value and our worth oftentimes based on our ability to nurture and care for our children. And there's this hierarchy of value. Do you have kids? Yes or no? And if you don't have kids, well, then you don't know how to nurture like a woman who has kids does. And then if you have kids, how well you nurture and provide for them impacts how society, the tribe, everyone else perceives how valuable you are. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just saying this is the standard typical response of how women are often seen in the world. I seem to have more value if I have kids. I seem to have more value if the kids are well taken care of and provided for. I seem to have more value if I have a husband, a happy husband who is well taken care of and provided for. It takes an extreme amount of energy to love and nurture and care for all of our loved ones that are around us. And at the end of the day, we don't have the energy to nurture ourselves. We don't have the energy to put back into our own health and well-being. And this is a problem. What needs to happen in your life for you to bump yourself up to the top of your list? What needs to happen for you to start doing the things that you need to do for your overall health and well-being and happiness? I have seen women in their life who have given to the point where they are completely depleted, they have nothing left, and they are forced at that point to then focus on themselves after they're so far out of touch with who they are, what they need, what they want. How can we begin to shift our lives in small little ways to prioritize us and what we need? And honestly, you don't have to do it in small little ways. You can rip the Band-Aid off and just tell everyone around you that you have been moved to the top of the list. There is a lot more pushback, but that is an effective strategy just as well. Recently, I decided to have some professional pictures taken, and my photographer looked back, and it has been 12 years since I had professional photographs. And it's interesting because so many of us women are often the ones behind the camera. We aren't taking the pictures. There are no pictures with us as the family. There are no vacation pictures with us in it. Even though most of our kids have a camera in their phone. So I decided to get new pictures taken because it feels awkward for us to just do something for ourselves. To have something of just me without a spouse, without a child, without someone else. And then we put this off, and as we age, we become more sensitive about how we look now versus how we used to look. And we almost take on this belief that, well, I didn't have one when I was young, so I'm not going to have a picture taken now. But in reality, we need to do these things for ourselves. Why are we hiding? Why are we unwilling to put ourselves out there in this way? It's like we're afraid to be seen. We don't want the world to see us. And why is that? There were so many layers that were coming up with me through this process of scheduling a session with a photographer. I don't have someone in my life right now where I had to bring this up and discuss why I'm spending this money here. Why do I want to do this by myself and not with the family? Why do I want to do this now? And it's interesting when you are in a partnership with someone else, there is this general rule of who gets to spend money, where, and how. And when someone wants to spend it outside of an area that is normal or typical, it is scrutinized. It isn't seen as a priority. I am so thankful that at this stage in my life, I can make a decision that is good for me and not have to get permission, not have to discuss it. Why? Why do I want that? Nobody is here to make me feel bad about myself and what is important and what is needed for my health and well-being. Growing up in the 80s, there were these studios that were glamour shots, and the women would go in and they would get completely made up with an excessive amount of makeup, and their hair would be done, and then they would take pictures of these women who were completely transformed. And it wasn't necessarily a boudoir photo shoot, but it was something that the women could feel good about. And oftentimes, men do like sexy pictures of their significant other. And it seemed like a win-win situation in many cases. But times change, norms change, circumstances change. And I was talking to my photographer yesterday, and she had commented how she wished she had had more professional pictures taken. She was the one always behind the camera. She had taken pictures of her kids and has a lot of photographs of just her kids, but she doesn't have the photographs with her in it. Again, it's interesting how we as women focus on giving to others, giving to our family, making sure that everyone else is taken care of, and we don't include ourselves in the process. We either completely exclude ourselves and we put it off until the kids are grown. And then we have these moments where we look back and it's like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I have a picture taken? I've also discussed this with my family because My aunt passed a couple of years ago. And when it came time for my cousin to find a current photograph of her, he could not do it. My aunt was a woman who always wanted to be in full makeup and have her hair done before she even got close to a camera. And just as life happens and circumstances happen, we become more isolated. We haven't had the big family gatherings. Nobody was walking around taking pictures of people. And he didn't have a current photograph for her obituary. And it was just one of those realizations on his part where there were some missed opportunities along the way. Here was a child reflecting on how he could have made different choices. He was very nurturing to her and didn't ever want to force her or encourage her to make different choices. But I think there was a moment where he realized maybe I should have done a few things differently in respect to her. How can we shift the focus to prioritize ourselves in our lives, in our daily life? How can we shift that and bump ourselves up on the to-do list? Have a picture taken. Have something done just for yourself. Have something that is just of you. Celebrate this moment in your life. Celebrate where you are, who you are, and don't be afraid to step into the light. Don't be afraid to show yourself. Let the world see you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at more Tracy Talks. And until next time.